and swaying at a feverish pace. Take me away on a mystical ride, moving through the veil to the other side. Fill me up with spirit songs so power and love's alive. Take me down where the pagans go, where the fires are high and the candles glow. Take me down to that magical place where they're dancing and swaying at a feverish pace. Take me away on a mystical ride, moving through the veil to the other side. Fill me up with the spirit song so power and love's alive. Take me down through the 7 gates where I'll cast my being to the hands of fate. Take me down to the dragon's lair where myth and legend ride the air. Let me rise on the messenger's wings, let me see what the future brings. Fill me up with the spirit song so power and love's alive. Take me down where the pagans.
Welcome to Keepers of the Flame. I am your host, Reverend Alicia Lyon Fulbrith for the Pantheon Temple. And with me this week is Joseph FireCrow, flute man and flute maker. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you here.
It is.
Yeah. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm from the Northern Cheyenne tribe, and my reservation is located in southeastern Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born in Montana, but I went to regular schools, and it's a beautiful, beautiful country back there, where I originally come from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a flute man, and that means that I make flutes, that I play them,
mm-hmm.
and it's a living tradition. So there are stories that come with it, songs that you sing,
mm-hmm.
and then even given melodies on the flute,
mm-hmm.
that are still kept alive, passed on. And I teach people how to make flutes, even how to play them,
mm-hmm.
how to approach music in the traditional style, indigenous style, from here, and and then sometimes relating that to more modern music. And but the traditional stuff is very important. The integrity of it is very, very important, and it's timeless. And I'm really grateful that my elders have kept this stuff alive, because that's where this information comes from. Is I'm always talking about the elders, and that's a good thing. It's really important to remember them and to give them recognition, because a lot of this stuff, I could say that it came from me, but no, it comes from somewhere else. Another person that had that information had given it to me, and I've learned to ask only so many questions when I'm learning from the elders, and they when they see that you're ready for the information, they give it to you at that given time. And that's when the oral tradition part of this of our culture really comes through. Is at times like that when we pass on either a song or information concerning, like for me, the flutes, and it's like I said, a breathing, living tradition today.
That's really important to recognize that. Now, tell us a little bit about the first time that you heard the flute and how you came back to it.
Well, for all of us, that when you hear it all the time in the evenings, mostly, and so I can remember hearing it when I was young, and I actually remember even have memories of watching some of them make their flutes. But I think they kind of shooed me away because I was always trying to, get too close to them, and so they, and I understand that as a flute maker myself, you want things just so you know where they're at.
As an artist, yes.
Yeah, and so and then there was a point there where it really evoked and provoked a lot of emotions I was feeling as a child. There was a lot of uncertainty during the 60s. The alcoholism was running rampant, and there was this. The people were struggling hard at that time, and trying to come to grips with a new way of governing ourselves, as well as trying to maintain our traditional ways and ceremonies. And having the right people in place that could keep these things going, and a lot of the stuff they thought would pass, become either obsolete or extinct by the 70s, and it's real important to have people that are really a good heart and honest person that will continue these things for the next couple generations. When my grandkids can look and see what I'm doing today. I keep it kind of in the middle of the road, especially with the traditional style. Later on, they have somewhere to go if they want to hear flutes, flute stories, singing songs, whatever it may be. And it's a priceless resource that we have today.
I think it's also really good, just simply because now there's this very large global audience that is ready for it, you know, and I think that part is really exciting.
Oh yeah, it is. And when I first set out doing this, I did it mostly for the fact that there wasn't a lot of it out there. I remember our artists like Carlos Nakai, and my mentor John Rayner. He was recording music at the time. Kevin Locke was another artist that was playing flute music, and timing is everything, and then luck, and you have to have talent, and you get the right breaks, I guess.
Yeah.
And when things sped up for us, when the Grammy Awards recognized our music, for myself, I thought it was still another 10 years down the road before we would have this music recognized, and it came along really fast, and I was, like I said, timing and luck. I attribute a lot of it to that, I guess. Being in the right place at the right time, and this genre was catching on, but for, I guess I would say hundreds of years, we've been exchanging ideas and music all along, and natives have had, they've entered every genre there is, and some are just strictly rock and rollers, and others classical people, and
Yes.
and so it's but at the same time there are people that are like Black Lodge singers that they're recording artists as a group. They have powwow singing songs, and they travel all over the world doing. They're the best of the best. And when I think of our music, I think of the drum mostly, and the chanting, but also the singing, the words that come with it, and then the flute's probably right behind that. And when you grow up with this stuff all around you, it's kind of it's intertwined through all of you. And so to express it, you have a really solid place to come from. And as a young man, I got involved with drumming and singing, and that really helped with approaching the flute in a traditional sense, because I'm using the blueprint of how to approach singing songs the same way. And it's a little simple formula of you use your fingers, you have a lead, and then you have two small melodies and then an ending. Very simple, and then you repeat it. And the drumming, the energy is in the drum, and the chanting carries the melody of the song. And then if you're singing and there's words that have to be in there, then you sing the words in the melody of the chant. And you're using your voice too as an instrument as well. And it is a beautiful thing. And I'm very, very grateful, like I said, coming back to my elders, for them having it there and keeping it there in a good place. And I would hate to think to not have that stuff around. I really do. And my heart goes out to some people that are lost and trying to find their where they come from, and trying to connect with especially with indigenous blood and culture and heritage. That comes to mind is when we're born, we're given our name, and then usually if it's a boy, then the name will come from the father's side. If it's a girl, then the name will come from the mother's side. And the parents will ask a grandparent or a great grandparent to use can I have your name for my child? And there's a whole process, and then usually in exchange, and the old days, I don't know, 5 horses for the for the name. I don't know. But something that if you prize your child and that name highly, where it comes from, then that exchange will be like that, I guess. But sometimes it's just very simple, and just in asking. Tobacco offering, maybe a blanket or a Pendleton or something, and ask that way. And it's and then the name is recognized, the child, and then they come together. And the flutes, the drums, and the singing and all that stuff is there. There's usually a holy man or holy person, medicine person there to bless the child and bringing this to the child, because this name connects the child to the people as well as to the land, and centuries of heritage and culture that come with it. And if someone says I'm from Northern Cheyenne, and they say Lame Deer, Montana, immediately when I ask, well, what's your Cheyenne name? And you should be able to just say it, and then translate it into English. And when I was born, the name that I received, that was given to me, is Hospinako. And Nahko is bear. Hospinako is I'm imitating a bear, imitation bear, trying to be a bear, 100%, but unsuccessful bear. And that's it's a very powerful name from a warrior's to have that name. The bear is pretty much the top of the food chain out west, and we view them as our relatives. The Cheyenne people, we don't hunt them, we don't wear their skins, we don't wear their bones, their teeth, or anything like that. We don't eat them or anything. Right. We have great respect for the bear, and maybe from time to time you would have to protect yourself from them, but that to have respect and know their purpose, your purpose there. And back in the days when it was a lot simpler time. Today, they try to manage everything. Yes. As we as human beings literally live on top of them, and it's for me, when I think of a healthy ecology and a healthy wildlife, you have to have every one of them there and in healthy living. Whether it's from the wolf to the bison to the bear, they all have to have to be there and then to do what they do. And that's it's simple thinking, and but the world is a complicated thing, and that's why I believe that this music is people should be ready for it. It helps heal people, and when it's coming from a good place, it really is for that. And that's when you realize that my elders were right. Keeping it humble and to be generous with it and to be honest with it is part of keeping it alive and keeping it, as they would say, with straight eyes, from your heart, like that. And it's really important. And now even more, I think it's called for to have it.
One of the things that's first and foremost about this show too is also the educational aspect, which obviously you're giving some wonderful information for people to help educate them too, because people might hear the music and they might not understand everything else that's connected with it. Right. So this is absolutely perfect. And for those of us in the Wiccan and pagan community, there's a lot of us mixed folks that are floating around the pagan community, and for us, there's oftentimes there's a calling, it resonates with us, and, we need to be also to understanding where this also comes from as well. So that's really very important. Now, you made your home in Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me how that came about.
Well, years ago, going on 15 years ago, out west we heard of these huge casinos out here in Connecticut, and you can't, when you come from a small reservation out west, or a lot of places, I guess, and our concept of that was really difficult to really understand until you finally get to come and see it. And but at that point, you just realize it's just a huge casino for the most part. The Mashtuckets and even the Mohegans. That's what they have on the reservations. Back home, we have them too, but they're much smaller. And I came out to work. I was playing my flute, performing, as well as selling my CDs. Mm-hmm. And when you do this, you meet a lot of people all day, and you're talking, and you're working. And I wanted to get away, and it was a Sunday, and I love the National Football League. I'm a great fan, and my team of choice is the Buffalo Bills. And it's a tough choice I made years and years ago when I was young. And but I knew they were playing on TV, and so I went up to watch the game, and they were happy to be playing the Miami Dolphins. And that's always a good game. As I got up to leave, I looked, and there was this woman sitting at a table, beautiful, and I had considered just to get back to work, but someone just said, "Go talk to her." Talk. And so I walked over and introduced myself and asked if I could sit down, and we started watching the game together. And I found out that she's a Dolphins fan, and it was Joanne, would eventually, at that time, realize that I just knew something was going on, and then I'd made a commitment and pact with the Creator that to follow my heart, and especially when you're not looking for anything, especially something like this, love, and a companion and someone you can walk with. It's just it was just amazing, and there's a lot of words I could use to describe what was really happening. But I invited her to come out to back west to visit, and she eventually made her way to Washington D.C. to see me at another gig, and then she invited me to come here to Connecticut, and I cried her out on the phone enough when I went back, and then she said, "You know what? Why don't you just come back here to Connecticut?" And then, like I said, I followed my heart, and then it said to do that, and then so I came here to Connecticut, and I fell in love before doing that, and you don't realize it sometimes, and then and I'm just so grateful to Creator for this person to be there that day.
Yes.
Yeah. And as they say, the rest is history, I guess. But we've been through an awful lot, gone to some awesome places too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I heard you speak about your wife, Joanne, in another interview, about your CD, Face the Music. And, you were speaking on there about your amazing marriage. And you were also speaking about the sacred connection between a man and a woman.
The sacred hoop.
Yes, if you could speak a little bit more about that.
Well, for as long as there have been human beings, this thing's been here. And we as men hopefully will understand the greatest medicine is the love of a woman. And a child, we all know that the unconditional love that our mother has for us. But to stand next to a woman and have her love is the strongest medicine that I can ever possibly think of. I don't know how many war bonnets I would have to have to equal that. But there has to be, as in all good things, there has to be a great honesty and not just a commitment for this time, and then to place this person above all others, above all other, not only just women but in people in general too. I believe that behind when this happens, good things happen, and when this hoop it moves, and it's a part of the spiritual life we have, and not only our mental health but our physical health as well. And there's this love, and it's a strong thing, and that when when we go on from this life to the next, we're going to look for each other. We'll know each other.
Absolutely.
And I can say this without a shadow of a doubt. I can close my eyes and I know when my wife walks into the room. Literally.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, she's here. And then we can be standing hundreds of yards away from each other, and I know that and I'll look up and I'll see her looking right it's a strength I've never had before in my life. And she's the greatest inspiration for my music. And when things are done like this in a good way, that stuff is there to be there for other people. And as a flute man, my job is to spread simply love. But it's not complete. And so I have this wonderful, wonderful woman walking with me. And I can't say enough about this person. And that she goes with me everywhere I go. And as an entertainer and a performer, we travel abroad and all over the United States. And I'd asked her to walk with me and to actually manage my career as well. And I said, if you can, we can manage to do that, then you won't have to go back to your regular job, and we'll walk this path together no matter where we go. And so it truly is not only a blessing but a gift. I can't say enough. And the elders that have gone before us have blessed our union, and I'm really, really grateful for that as well. And to top it off, I really do not want to disappoint my grandmothers and my mothers, let alone the love of my life. Yeah. So it's you walk in honor and stand up and take on life, and when she needs me, I'll be standing right there too.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I thought that was really important today. I'm sure that wasn't one of the questions you were originally expecting, but
no, it's I really have no problem with something like that. It's important, and especially in a really fast-paced world where there's a lot going on. Sometimes you can't see. There's so many things going on, and it's important to just slow it down. And we do connect. When I get up in the morning, we connect. If she walks by me, I reach up and we touch our hands together. And it's just those little things. They're very precious. You look forward to them. And then we connect in the night and the evening as we wind down. And that sacred hoop is there when we lay down to sleep. Good dreams.
Very good. Okay, now maybe if you could share a little bit with us about the history and the cultural connection of the flute and the importance of actually keeping this and other oral traditions.
Well, the long ago the flutes were all the young men they carried flutes, and you naturally want to ask why just the guys, and the answer was simple. The women they don't need it, simply put. And it makes sense. There's in a simple of times, hundreds of years ago, the warrior had to be gentle and everything, but when things started to happen, he just didn't get angry. He went all the way up, like that, and it was sometimes just for survival, and the harshness of this could really make a man rough sometimes, especially when it comes to a gentle, compassionate person. And it's the flute helped in channeling his gentler side within it, the female part of him, as it is. And he would play not only for the love of his life or the children, his nieces and nephews, or whoever but he would play for his love of the land and what the animals bring to the people. But he would also play his flute for his fellow warrior that is there too. And in a lot of ways, he's healing them too as he plays his flute. And it's used in courtship, but it's also used to call people to the gatherings, whether it's the dance or the ceremony. And he'll walk at night and play his flutes, sometimes all night long. And in doing that part of it, he's testing himself, his own fortitude, and his own stamina, his spiritual and emotional stamina, to focus on his songs when, in the dead of night, when it could be a bear or something standing there and you can't see it, and it's checking you out. Everything from snakes to insects, they show up to check you out. And so you move to the next place and you focus on why you're there. And the flutes have always been a part of our culture since human beings have been around. We've had the whistles, the rattles, and the drum, the singing part, and the flutes. And our flutes originated in bone. And it is even in our legend that says that the bone flute was there. That's really important to understand that. And then from there, it went to whatever was available. Whether you were living in Florida, they have a lot of sugarcane. Down south, they have bamboo. Up this way, we have juniper, pine, softwoods. And how you go look for your wood is really important. And today we can just go down to the hardware store, to buy wood. Yeah. But to do it the old way, they say, you're looking for a tree that is laying down, and you ask the tree permission. Can I use you in a good way? And then you take all of the tree and you're looking for the very center of the tree, the hardwood, not the branches, not the roots. And then you split it in two pieces and then carve it out and go back together. They real simply put, but there's a whole process of doing that. And the flute will vibrate, and that's the reed part of your flute, is the whole thing. And when it's done properly, by hand, you can have a beautiful flute every time. More modern style flutes, they have machines that make them too. And you can come up with good flutes a lot of the time, but really beautiful, beautiful flutes, they're hard to come by when they're done by machines. And that's just my opinion. And I'll stand by it.
I feel the same way as an artist.
Yeah.
There's something about the human hand that changes everything.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing about it is that you can make a flute, two identical ones, and one will have just a different voice, just a slightly different sound to it. And it could be in the grain that's in the wood, some thicknesses within the wood itself, because it's not totally straight on the inside. It's uneven on the inside, and hence you want that flute to vibrate. And so they're like people. And when I try to tell people what flutes are about, is that you're making them from the inside out, and that's the most beautiful part of a flute. Making it sound that way comes from making the inside first. Then you've learned how the grain changes by doing that, and then when you work on the outside, you know where it changes, so that you don't break into your flute, because it's hollow on the inside as you make it round on the outside. And human beings are like that. The most beautiful part is inside. And it doesn't matter what you look like. And you can have your flute look like almost anything. And then sometimes the simplest looking flutes are the most beautiful flutes. And they make them real fancy today too. And the simpler, the better, I think. And whenever I get to trying to make a different kind of flute, I get reminded real fast that I got to kind of stick to what I know and what I've mastered. It's that way I can just like those singing songs and stuff, I can maintain the integrity of how to do that, and to keep it simple enough that when I do pass this knowledge on to other people, they'll remember it and continue that on too, just like I have. And it's at the same time the tradition is changing. In modern times, the flute has been picked up by women, and even I've been a part of changing that tradition. And I took a lot of ridicule, and some of the elders were upset with me, and I'd made a flute for a female member of my family, and they said, "No, you're not supposed to do that." And but one of the elders, she said it's about time. Yeah, it's about time, and it's and as a musician myself, it's a wonderful way to express yourself, and at that point, why not the women? And there's always a controversy sometimes, and definitely when us, the new generation, but when I think about my parents too, they were doing that, changing things too. And it's like I said, life isn't so simple like it used to be years and years ago, even when I was a kid in the 60s.
Yeah.
So that, with that, again, I just come back to keeping it as simple as I can. That way, if a controversy does come up, then usually it'd probably be my fault. And, I'll say something or do something, and then, I'll get a phone call back from the res, and they're saying, "What are you doing out there?" And it's important to be really honest with it, and not to make claims that are just totally untrue. There's enough misinformation about the indigenous culture and everything from ceremonial ways to how we govern ourselves to more modern problems, like taxes and things like that. It's a very interesting time to be alive, and I don't know about our future as far as if whoever will blend in so much that we'll end up looking like everybody else. I think that it'll be probably like that on the long run if we survive as a planet. With that, I just say that we really got to get back to really understanding why we need to take care of the planet, and that's why our music and our songs and our ideas and stuff, they're expressions from our environment and how we connect to it, and that's really important.
It is.
Yeah.
Truly, you are an award-winning artist, and really should talk about that, some of the work that you've done. I mean, in all truthfulness, you're probably one of the finest native flute players in the world.
It's slowly kind of sinking in, I guess. I'm still kind of, I'm humble about it. As a musician, I have a great appreciation for music, and I studied music from 4th grade up through college, and I learned to read music and then to count, which is a really big thing to be able to do, and I'm finding that all that theory and everything that I'd learned and came into play later on in life when I chose music as a second career, and it gave me a really vantage point to really appreciate the other genres that were out there, and try to blend it in a really positive way. And it's traditional style music is very it's not simple. Sometimes it can be very complicated, from the rhythm of the drum to its tempo and how you sing over it. and even the singing could be totally offbeat of the drum beat itself, and like I said, 4 parts of the song, and then you loop it back around, and whereas a regular, even a show tune, there's usually an intro, and then you follow through a melody, and you find a chorus, and you go back to your main melody, and you come back to your chorus. Eventually, you find your ending, and you can have breaks in there, changes, chord changes or whatever, or go to a couple steps up, and it all comes together, and you're basically taking a person from point A to point B, and doing it in a very beautiful way. Good song.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas traditional style, it's kind of like in a little circle, kind of, and but to be able to break that out, and then to be able to add that stuff in there, it's been one of my goals as a musician part. And when recognition started to finally come, I never envisioned it, and to actually go to the Grammys and be standing there with all these other legends and very, very famous people. Mm-hmm. It was very, very surreal, and just and to have my name go back more than once in projects that I was a part of, and then the Native American Music Awards were there too. And as a matter of fact, the very first Native American Music Awards that were held here in Connecticut, and we were so busy doing, we missed that first year. And when I don't release a CD every year, there's 2 or 3 years in between, and so the one grateful thing, and it's just an awesome thing, is each one of my solo recordings have garnered a major award or recognition, and I think. And we come back to the timing I was talking about. Yeah. But it's truly the people that you work with, and of course the content and message that you have with your recording. And the most important thing is, as in a good friend of mine named David Amram, he's a classical composer. He said to make great music is knowing when to play and knowing when not to. And when he said that to me, everything just clicked. So wow, I understand now. And so you don't play that song over again on another recording, is what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. There's new work always, and it's amazing the things that the ideas that come together. And when you're working with world-class musicians, magic happens. Just and then again, it comes back to that connecting and having that openness, that honesty when you're working with someone, and when you have that kind of thing, there's really nothing stopping you. But you allow it to happen. I mean, you just go with it, and there's no pretense or ulterior anything about this. Is that it goes and flows like a river. That power, that energy that is there. Well, you can feel that when you're working on a project, and it's an awesome thing when it really does happen. And I can't say enough about the people that I really truly work with, from Peter Fish, Peter Kalo. These are great musicians and songwriters. But the list, I could just keep talking about these people, and I would have to give them credit for a lot of this too. And again, I guess they say behind every great man is even a greater woman, and without that, without Joanne, I seriously doubt that I would be here. Definitely here in Connecticut, and so as they say, it was meant to be. And I'm going with that, and I find in the hardest of times in my own personal life, I look at this woman and she warms me up, and here and I say, you know, Joe, let things go. Mahi will take care of it, and get right down to living right now, and be aware of what's going on, and we got things to do, and but you know, there's time when we need to take a rest too, and I'm really grateful for that, for her. Yeah, I can't say enough. I really can't.
Well, I know I, for one, I'm very glad that, you know, you're here in Connecticut, you know, because otherwise, you know, this interview wouldn't be happening. You wouldn't have come out to our Beltane Festival, I'm sure, you know, so I'm very grateful that you are here, and I'm very grateful for Joanne, who's made sure that everything happened for today as well. But, you know, you should probably talk a little bit about your new album.
Oh, wow. Like I said, I don't release an album every year, and I've always wanted a recording, a record of just flute, no background stuff, no keyboards or, you know, wind or spoken word, just flute. And initially, in the very beginning of my career, back in the days of cassettes, that's what I had on my first recording. It was just flute, and it's a simple thing, and but it's a beautiful thing, and in that is its energy and its power, and to help heal people, and so this album, this new album, is titled Night Walk. And as you recall, I talked about the flute man walking at night as he plays his flutes, and that's how we got the title. And it's actually Joanne came up with the name Night Walk, and I said Night Walker, and she said, no, it's not a horror flick, you know, it's Night Walk, and so I just it's about 77 minutes just of beautiful flutes. There's 20 tracks on the recording, and it's brand new. We're selling it at all our venues, and it's to meditate, to relax you. People from yoga to any therapy kind of thing, from Reiki to massage, you name it. This album is kind of pointing that direction, but it's also for people when they're done at the end of the day, and you know, they want to unwind, and for some people it's going to be there to help literally put them to sleep, to help them to put them to sleep, and for others it's going to remind them of, you know, what's going on here, whether it's happiness or even a mourning, and but it's through those times that we find our strength, and this helps them walk through it. And the reason I know this is because people have told me this, from children all the way through to the elders, and so it covers all age groups too. And then you know, you can go to my website and order the CD from me.
And you should probably state the website.
It's josephfirecrow.com, and you can email me at josephfirecrow@hotmail.com. And but there's more than one, I think, and or just give us a call at 860-379-6007, and you know, that's one number where we can always be reached, and Joanne is always checking it for messages when we're on the road, and we handle it from there too when we're traveling, and you can get the music from us, especially this new CD.
Okay.
And or check my website and see when I'll be at a concert, and then come to the venue and pick one up there too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're about to go back to the music again. So is there anything more that you'd like to share about that?
The music.
Yeah, that was over in Winstead.
Yeah,
that was recorded.
Yeah, this is a DVD. It's a live concert DVD that we also have available, and I'm just standing there doing a solo concert, and there on Winstead Green, and on a really beautiful day, and it's like I said, it's a more traditional style of recording, and it's about an hour long, and then there's I also do some interviews about some of this music and what it means and on like that. And you can also order that DVD too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. And this has been really wonderful. And we'll go and we'll see some more of the music.
Yeah.
Keepers of the Flame is produced by the Pantheon Temple. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider donating to the Pantheon Temple. We are a 501c3 nonprofit temple and the first Wiccan and Pagan temple in the state of Connecticut. And for more information about us and our events, please go to our website at www.pantheontemple.org. Please visit paganodyssey.com for Beltane, a Pagan Odyssey Festival, Connecticut's oldest and original pagan festival by the Pantheon Temple. And please visit Keepers of the Flame at our new website at www.keepersoftheflametv.com.
Native Americans should be the first to stand up for Mother Earth because we want our children, our grandchildren to have the life they deserve.
I really want to fight for my home, Mother Earth.
My homeland, my tradition, and my family are what means the most to me.
I'm sad because the environment I grew up in might not be there for my kids and their kids.
If people want to keep living, they better help not just save themselves, but Mother Earth.
I want our children to see this beautiful nature all around us.
I'm going to fight for Mother Earth. Are you?
I am going to grow up to honor my heritage and traditions, which includes living in harmony with Mother Earth.
I bet that if animals could talk, they would probably say, stop destroying our homes.
And most of all, care for her the way you would take care of yourself.
I get to live on the very land my ancestors lived on.
There are great warnings from our ancestors. We as human beings should wake up to these warnings.
Make some time to take care of Mother Earth because she already has done so much.
You can help save Mother Earth by not polluting her or destroying her.
Protecting Mother Earth is our responsibility.
Go where the fires are high and the candles glow. Take me down to that magical place where they're dancing and swaying at a feverish pace. Take me away on a mystical ride, moving through the veil to the other side. Fill me up with the spirit songs of power and love's alive. Take me down through the 7 gates where I'll cast my being to the hands of fate. Take me down to the dragon's lair where myth and legend ride the air. Let me rise on the messenger's wings. Let me see what the future brings. Fill me up with the spirit songs of power and love's alive. Take me down where the pagans go, where the fires are high and the candles glow. Take me down to that magical place where they're dancing and swaying at a feverish pace. Take me away on a mystical ride, moving through the veil to the other side. Fill me up with the spirit songs of power and love's alive.